they asked me for a job at Popeyes, and I had to turn it down. Anyway, my next project is I found a bunch of trash jewelry, okay, and what I'm doing is I rolled the dice, and it ended up being a 5 when I dropped it in the container here. That's a buddy of mine, used to own Maggios, and I took all this jewelry that I found over the years, and I went ahead and made a jewelry patch. And I'm going to put some liquid clear. I'm going to put liquid clear in there, and I'm going to freeze it inside. It's going to look more like this when I'm finished with it. Okay?
Oh, cool.
It's going to look like that when I'm finished with it.
Solid, yeah, solid clear. I like your
Actually, one day I went on the side of the road and I found this and I made this up.
Wow.
It's chicken feet. You like it?
I love it, man. It's cool.
And if you want to burn your hand, just hold on to a cup of coffee while you're doing a video. This is a copy of my family's restaurant, the original Village. And this is the front of the cover. And as you can see, it's pretty old. And
What is it again?
And I grew up in the restaurant business and in the music business. This is one of the original menus with prices that are like, for a ribeye steak, is $175 with a potato. Okay? This is in 1960. Times have changed. Now you go get a steak, it's $50, and you got to pay for the potato section. So anyway, my dad was a singer, and he was well known around Baton Rouge. His name was Joe DiStefano. My mother's name was Marie Guido. Well, anyway, I don't have a copy of that. My mother was a professional piano player. She had 7 children. I'm one of the oldest sons out of 7. I had 6 brothers and sisters. You know, our family ran the Village for 30, 40 years. And then my dad separated from his mother, and he went down the street and opened up a place called Jack Shaver's. So my dad had Jack Shaver's for about 25 years, and my grandmother had the Village for about 45 years. And we've been in and out of the music business and the restaurant business all our life. So, you know, once you're classified as a black sheep, you know, your color changes after. My mother's profession was a piano player and a singer. And she was very good at what she did. She was a great entertainer. She loved entertaining people. And she blew people away, man. They'd come the next night and listen to her. She had a little job at the Broadmoor Lounge in the top of the tower in Baton Rouge, and she worked at the Village also with my dad for years. What I'm going to do now, I found this contraption here. It's an enter tube. You get it, enter. And I like to feel comfortable when I'm sitting down to do video like this. It feels much better when you're comfortable. Well, my role in TSW is I actually do a lot of production, and we do sound recording mixes, and I help with guitar, ad-lib, bass ad-lib, keyboard ad-lib, and we do a lot of different songs. Where actually, you know, my name is on there already. So, I mean, you know, some of the songs we do a lot of different things on. So I'm actually part of the production and co-writer of the music for TSW. I like that. They called me up and wanted me to play with Buffalo. I played with a big horn band called with Marsh Rock Production with Frankie Modosca. And after that, we did about a 2-year tour around Mississippi, Biloxi, Lafayette, and Houma, and New Orleans, and places like that, and Lafayette, and Springfield, and places over there in Lake Charles. And then, you know, the band split up like normal. You know, people go one way, the other guy goes the other way, this guy goes that way. And then me and a friend of mine started a new band called Brass Mammoth. It was another horn band. And then it was me and a friend of mine, his name was Mike Avery. He was the lead singer for Brass Mammoth. And we did horn covers, Chicago, you know, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Then we played around the same places, toured around town, Biloxi, Lafayette, Shreveport, Monroe, you know, Lake Charles, Livingston, the whole deal. And then, you know, then that band collapsed. You know, I mean, everybody changes over time, you know, so I'm starting to get a little older, and here comes another band. Me and this other guy, his name was, actually the guy that I started the band with, his name was Ronnie Arnold. We started a band called the 21st Band. It was a jazz fusion band. And I played the bass, he played the guitar, David Peters played the drums, we had a keyboard player, Larry Sheep. And we did stuff at, you know, the J Clubs and places around town. I played with Randy Jackson also. We didn't tour together, but I had a chance to play in a band with Randy Jackson. I went from the bass and I went to the guitar. So the guy said, well, they had Randy Jackson, Larry Siebert, they had me on the guitar, and they had a drummer, David Peters, and we were playing at the J Club with Mike Avery singing. And then, you know, Larry Siebert decided to do some different stuff, so they started another band after that one, called the 21st Band again. So we went to different ways, we went our different ways, so, you know, things happen. I never did grow up. I'm still a kid. You know, I'm not on CNN News right now. You know, I'm not under the table, under the draw, under the carpet. You know, I'm doing everything by the book, man. So, you know, I did a lot of different bands. We had horn bands, cover bands, show bands. I worked with Lucas Spinoza, and we did a little stuff together. He had the In Crowd. I did some stuff with Floyd Brown. We had some. I had a good friend of mine that played with Buffalo, and he played with Floyd Brown too. His name is Ernie Gotro. He's a good friend of mine. And you know, I worked with Lynn Orso. We did a little thing for a while. He had the Playboys. You know, John Fred and the Playboys. I never had a chance to play with them. Well, I opened up for a band when I first started playing music years ago. I opened up for Tommy James and Sean Dell's at Independent Song. You know, I played in a 3-piece band. It was me, Mike Noto, and Joey Decker. All three of us are pretty people know who we are. But anyway, after all that happened, you know, things went down, the economy went bad, people lost jobs. Well, I never had one, but anyway. So, you know, here comes my little nephew back from California, and I wasn't doing nothing. So after all them other bands I played with over the years, I'm aging. I'm almost ancient age. So I got together with my nephew Trey, and we started Trey Capdeville. We started TSW and the Songwriters. And we've been working together on these songs hours and hours and hours at a time. We copyrighted stuff. We made sure everything's protected, you know. You know, a lot of people say, oh, don't worry about that. They say that so they can take it and then bring it back to you. Yeah, I thought you wrote that, but you didn't, you know. But anyway, we're not really concerned about a lot of that too much, but we do it the right thing. And now we've got all of our albums. I think we have something like 15 to 16 albums out right now, and they're all on the internet right now. YouTube, Spotify, Napster, Facebook, Racebook, all of them places, man. You know, I Am Radio, iHeartRadio, well, if you got one, you know. And I'm just saying, you know, you want to do a little video clip? Let's do it, you know. You like it? Well, I actually find little things, and like the other day I found a pile of wood. It was deck wood. It was real nice 1/4-inch strips of wood that were, you know, pretty long. So I didn't want them after I picked them up, and I asked this guy if he wanted them. He took them from me and took them out of my truck, and so I felt good about giving somebody something, you know. Well, I'm a recycler. I'm an environmental recyclist. I take the environment, I take it and recycle it again. I don't dive in the dumpsters, you know, with a spacesuit and go down in it and stuff like that and come out with, ooh, can you imagine? But if I see something that looks promising, some of the songs we do have something to do with my life and other people's lives. separate copper from zinc. So now I'm a coin collector. That's a hobby. Sometimes an idea will come into my head and I'll jot something down on a piece of paper. It's called With Me. We've never done this before, but it was a song that I jotted down, and I put stuff in a box. I collect lyrics, I put them in boxes, and every once in a while I play a little sweepstakes and stuff. But basically I like playing music and I like writing music. I've been doing it most all my life. I work with a lot of different people, And really, that's about, maybe I could put a nut in a rock shell. I don't know. I'm just saying that, I like being free from everything and just living my life as a musician and having a good time, and not talking about all the depressing things that goes on with it. But I do like to live here in Louisiana, and I like to write down. What I meant to tell you was, we write about things that goes on in our lives and other people's lives and current events, things like that, and some of it's real, some of it could be fabricated, but it's all music, man. It's all the melody, the feeling, the playing, the getting together and having fun. And it's all about having fun. And it's all about having family too. Artist, and he does a lot of art in his house and he remodels homes and things like that. He's a great designer. And I just one day decided to just take this picture that I found and put a bunch of pictures on top of it about my family. And that's me when I was a kid. My sisters, that's my dad when he was living at the Italian garden. That's my mother and me and my little brother. And that's the village. And that's me and my brother Joey. And that's me when I got out of the tub when I was little. That's my grandfather and my grandmother. And that's an old car that I bought that I didn't win at the Hollywood. And this is a broad jam car that I blew up so people could see it. And other than that, it's been a real pleasant day. My life's been going on the way it's been going on for 60 years. And believe it or not, I'm still looking for a job. Well, I said a little while ago that I'm still looking for a job. I'm not talking about a job. I'm actually looking for. I'm actually working at a job to have a little place to stay at. So I work at the O'Neill Laundry, and I've been doing this for about 10 years now. An old buddy of mine said, "Do you want a job?" I said, "No, I'd rather have an adventure." So it's been an adventure the whole time. I just kind of wipe the machines off, keep the floors clean, make sure everybody's in line, make sure the machines stay here overnight, and I can live in security going, And everything's been going well, So I'm just a person that is just trying to stay alive, Just a guy that like everybody else, trying to make things work out. I'm trying to fix some of the stuff that's broken. I'm trying to fix some of the stuff. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Things will get better down the road. When the money comes in, I'm waiting on the Powerball, by the way. Last night the Powerball was $750, almost $800 million. I think a man that would win that much money could actually lose his mind. I don't want to find out right now. I'll find out a little later. But I'm trying to get on Shark Tank because I bought these sharks right here from one of the guys on the show. He said you can have them for $2. I went ahead and got it. All these pictures I put in here myself. I found a lot of these after the storm. After the hurricane, after the flood in 2016. People just threw a lot of their artwork away. And I had a little design that thing up there, and I changed a lot. So this is what I do. And, I'm waiting for the cavalry to come in with the cowboy hats and their boots, maybe some horses. Who knows? But it was nice seeing you.